Every time. Every time. Hello, hello. I don't think anyone's on yet, but every time I do this, the orientation is in the incorrect direction, even though I start out that way. So I am just getting set so I can see everybody's comments. So bear with me. This is literally just a test, so I don't know if anyone is going to be here, but we're going to see. We're going to see, and we're going to make some shaker pockets. I think that's the thing we're going to do. That's what I've decided. Um, 1 second for technical stuff that I probably should have been ready for. But I only have one way to see the comments. It is so weird to me that there's like a filter on live chats to see like the top messages or all messages. Like, why wouldn't you want to see all the messages? Ooh, hello, Christelle. Hi. Hello. Thank you for joining me. I am testing out time zones and trying to see if I can catch my UK peeps in the morning and basically everybody on the other half of the world. And I'm not going to lie, I also didn't feel like going live last night. I got into my bed after having some pizza and got really cozy. I didn't leave myself a space to put my coffee cup though, which is on brand for me, honestly. So let's see. Because I definitely don't need this in my way. Oh my gosh. It's like I've never worked at this desk before. How does that happen? Okay, 7 o'clock in France. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it would be in the evening for everybody across the pond. So maybe some of you guys would be able to make it on. We're going to make some shaker pockets. Because I want to. But how are you? How are you doing? I'm going to go grab my die cut machine. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy. So yeah, I decided I wanted to like come up with some ways to use up some of these offcuts from like the scrapbook papers, you know, when you're cutting down your pages. And you whatchamacallit. You know, you have all these extra things that are like perfect for tags and stuff, but there's other stuff you can do. And so I thought we would make little shaker pockets with them. And so I grabbed a die and sorry, my tablet is like behind the live, really behind, no matter how much I update it. So we're just gonna deal with that. I am okay, honestly. I am tired. I'm really tired. For a couple of reasons. I probably should have scored these first. Yeah, let's do that because I don't know where I'm going with these. This is gonna be chaotic. I can already tell. One, because I dropped my little scorer dude, my little bone folder, behind all my craft stuff. So I get to pull all that out to salvage it because I need it. But I have another one. It's okay. Hello, Gwen. Hello. Hey, Vex. I think I do too, honestly. So like, we're on the right track. We're doing okay, despite all the obstacles I'm creating for myself. But yeah, last night was just not a good sleep night, which was on brand. But I'm scoring at 5 inches. Probably should have scored at 5.5. That's okay. We'll score at 5, and then 5.25. Because I'm making these like, I want these to look like little matchbooks. We're making matchbook shakers. That's what we're making. So that means from the 5 mark, we need another 5 inches. So that's gonna be right here. I'm using the center guide to do the counting for me, so I don't have to try to figure out. I mean, I know that from 5.25, 5 inches is 10.25, but you know, I don't trust myself like that. I tend to score first and then ask questions later. So, what did I say? 5 inches. That's not even the same line I made the first time. See how how I knew we were on some shenanigans today? Yeah, I'm gonna 100% say that sleep deprivation was the cause of this. And then I think this will be fine. This little extra 1/8 of an inch score mark that I've made here will be fine. But I don't need this to be as long as it is. And I don't really feel like bringing out my chopper. So we're just going to score it where I need it. But I can't see because it's very bright. So I only need this to be like right here-ish. I just need it to be a little bit. So if you're following along, yep, ADHD as well. So yeah, I feel you, Bucks. So we scored at 5, and then at 5 1/4, and then we came over here and we scored at 10 1/4, and 10 3/8, and then again at 11 because we're gonna chop off that extra like inch. And let me just do that twice before I forget where I'm at, what I'm doing. But yeah, I just didn't sleep well. So part of it was like insomnia. Part of it was I couldn't get comfortable. Part of it was Smokey was having a little tummy troubles. And, you know, like nothing gets you up faster as a cat owner than the sound of your cat throwing up someplace they're not supposed to. So, like, yeah, we woke up a couple of times. So I could be like, oh, no. And it was ineffectual. Did not stop the throw-ups. But I did manage to have to get up and clean it up a few times. He's old. So he's got some tummy issues. And that's normal. What's not normal is him sitting there like a toddler with the I threw up face, looking at me going, Mom, I threw up. And I'm like, I know. As you can see, I am cleaning it. And he's like, but Mom, I threw up. And I'm like, okay. But part of the problem was he kept throwing up in his bed. So I had to keep like cleaning up his bed. And then, you know, he wanted to like sleep in it. And I was like, oh, but it's damp now because you threw up in it. And I had to like get out all the stuff to clean it. And then he would just keep coming to me to be like, hey, Mom, I would like to sleep in my bed. And I was like, hey, I know. I would like it if you slept in your bed too, because if you sleep in your bed, then I will go to sleep. But also, you have 6 other beds. There's so many. But he just wanted that one, so it took a little bit to square that away. He finally went back to sleep. It did dry off. I got a towel out and I fixed it. Thank you. Thank you. I do feel like I'm doing the most, but it is it's for a good cause. It's for my baby. So we're gonna trim off that extra part we don't need. And now that I know where our window is gonna be, it's gonna be on this side. And then remember, we're gonna fold this up over it. So wherever you cut out your hole, whether you're using a die or whatever, you gotta kind of come up a little bit. So I'm gonna give myself like 1/4 of an inch of space there, and that's where I'm going to cut so that when I fold this up, it'll sit right here because we're making it look like a matchbook. But, are you guys crafting? Are you guys doing anything on this lovely Sunday? Oh, my window is open too, so we're going to hear all the car sounds because it's actually a nice day today. So I'm still working on my vampire journal. I have been sharing some of the process over on Patreon. I don't know how much of the process because I am, as we see, chaotic. And there's no telling where or when or what I'll be doing. So I'm trying to share what I can because they asked for it. And but this is what I'm making for. We're making vampire-y shaker pocket things. Not that I don't have enough ephemera, but I felt like using up some of this, and I thought this would be a good way to use some of those offcuts that you get from cutting your paper pads down to fit your journals. Ooh, this stuck right to this paper. Hi, Athena. Good morning. Good morning in Alaska. That's cool. I used to want to live in Alaska for like a really long time. And then I didn't. For no reason, honestly, for no reason. I just one of those like moments of whimsy where I was like, oh, I really want to live there. And then after I considered it in detail, I was like, maybe not. Maybe not. I bet it's cool. Well, I mean, it is cool, honestly, obviously. But I bet that it's fun. Hardly any snow. Well, shit, we just had snow this week. And I'm in Texas. That's crazy. Although, granted, we had like speckles and a sputtering of snow. Hi, Jess from New Zealand. Okay, now you guys are blowing my mind right now. We've hit all the time zones, so maybe Sunday morning lives are the way to go if I'm catching everybody. That was part of the reason. The other part of the reason I went live was one, because I didn't feel like doing it last night. I wanted to be cozy in my bed, and two was because I wanted to see if a different time zone would fetch some more people. It hasn't snowed in over a month. That's wild. That's crazy. Actually, honestly, I did not think I would be living in the time where it would be February and not snowing in the cold places. Ooh, okay, so that washi tape was a lot more effective at sticking stuff than I anticipated, but we made it through. So let's get this out of the way so we can get back into focus. It's so heavy. These are all the sound effects I make when I'm recording too, by the way. You can't hear because it's in the voiceover mode most of the time, but these are my real life sound effects. So, we're making a shaker. I want to ink this up before I do anything because I always forget to ink this up. 7 a.m. on a Monday. Time zones are crazy. Time is crazy. So it's super early in Australia, which I know that. Like, you're in New Zealand. I know you're not in Australia. Yes. But it's super early over there. Like, I know that you guys are nearly 24 hours ahead. I just, like, can't conceptualize that. Time is an illusion. What's it like in the future? Is it pretty cool up there? Are we gonna like Monday when we get there? I have so many questions. Can you see the Antarctic ice wall? I'm gonna bring it up again. I bring it up all the time because it's honestly my favorite conspiracy theory. And I get a lot of delight out of just listening to people talk about it. I don't know if you guys ever heard it. If you haven't, let me know and I'll explain it a little bit. But I would be genuinely interested to know what your favorite conspiracy theories are as well. And if you enjoy like listening to them, or if you're just like, I have bought into this wholeheartedly and believe this with my soul. I can tell you that the one I believe wholeheartedly with my soul, and I'm like, this is legit, is candy corn. The candy corn one. It's basically that all candy corn was made in like the 1970s, and they just keep it in huge silos, and then they dish it out every year at Halloween, and whatever doesn't get used goes back into the silo. But that's because I'm a candy corn hater. So, like, that's where that comes from. Otherwise, there's not a lot of conspiracy theories I truly believe, like, with my whole soul. There's usually a bit of skepticism back there, but that one I believe. Okay. And then just do the whole thing while you're sitting here staring at it. And then maybe we don't have to drag it back out again. So theoretically, this shouldn't take me forever, but as you guys know, it will. But I'm trying to keep it at like an hour, so we'll watch the time and see where we get. Also, probably should have got it out where my tiny attacher was before I started, because I'm gonna need it. Ooh. Oh. Well, I see a stapler, so that is essentially what the tiny attacher is, so I will track it down. I might have to get up to get the stapler, but I feel like my tiny attacher is a lot closer. And I just don't know where. I want the score lines. So essentially, we're creating a gusset. One, because we want it to look like a matchbook. That's the goal. But also two is so that the stuff has room to move. We're also gonna add in a little, well, like a little border, but also like, I don't know what you call it. I'm gonna take some cardboard and put it on the sides so that there's more room for stuff to move in here, so that the shaker is appropriately shaking. Because nothing irritates me more than spending all my time making a shaker only for like the stuff to barely move, which I do all the time. So we're going to take the proper precautions. Yes, this is the Stamperia paper pad, the one that I ordered twice and it was incorrect both times, and I continue to try to salvage it. That we are now going with what you suggested, which was to use it and do something out of the box. So it's essentially an exercise in taking paper that does not fit your theme and making it fit your theme. So for those of you guys who don't know, I tried to get some Stamperia paper. I was trying to get some stuff to make that siren journal. So I was looking at their like oceany underwater ones. And on the listing, the photo said it was that paper, and the description said it was that paper pad. So I was like, cool, I'm actually reading it, so I see this isn't like a case of Priscilla just jumping the gun like she usually does. I'm actually reading it to make sure that I'm getting the thing that I'm paying for. And the first time I ordered it, they sent me this travel one, and I was like, oh, I don't I don't want travel paper, I want ocean paper. So I was like, okay. So I set up the thing to return it, and they sent me another one before I even returned the first one, and the one that they sent me was the same one. So I got two of the same paper pad. And then, because I am horrible about going to the post office, especially when it's for myself, I'll get up and go if like I have an order because it's for somebody else, or if I'm sending a gift to someone because it's for somebody else, but I will not go if it's for me. I'm like, eh. So because I didn't go in the window, I ended up having to keep both paper pads, which is fine because like I can use paper. It's not like the paper was going to go to waste, but I was just like, I don't even want this paper. I have no intention of making like a travel journal anytime soon, if at all ever. And I shared it with the people in my Patreon and was just like, look at what this dum-dum did. And the suggestion was to use it and to make it work. So we're making it work. We're making it into a vampire journal. So I'm turning this travel paper pad into a vampire book. Well, two vampire books. As a fun little challenge. So like, I guess it's probably something I could have done as an actual challenge, and been like, take your least wanted paper and turn it into something cool. But like, I don't even know how would you measure that or like frame that in a challenge. I don't know if you guys remember, April had like a paper pad challenge where April at Pink Oddbird, where you took like an entire paper pad and just used it all up in one go, and that was really fun. I actually did that twice and made some like really nice, simple, like little single signature journals with that, and got to use up some paper pads. So that's a great way to get rid of paper pads that maybe you don't necessarily want, is to just sort of like craft them out into some simple journals to get rid of them. But this, I think, is a little bit different from that concept, only because you're using something for something that does not fit the theme and turning it to something else, like a scrapbook pad transformation deal. I think that is all the inking I need to do, so we can get this out of the way. And then I did say we're cutting channels for this. And we only need to cover the sides. Although, now that I'm looking at the fact that I made this huge gusset here, I may have bit myself in the butt a little bit. So I might have to just use a little bit of paper to cover this up. It's fine. We're going to work it out. We're workshopping it together. I've never made a matchbook style shaker pocket, and it's going to... We'll use paper. It's fine. I will figure it out. We're working it out together. And I said I didn't want to bring out my chopper, but then I still need my chopper to chop stuff. So that's the spider tap, because I have spiders. It's a thing. It's an ongoing thing, despite my best efforts and intentions. And my house smells like mint, so I have already tried that. And they don't really care. The fact that this is not exact is crazy to me. So we're going to cut these at about 1/4 of an inch, which is why I wanted this to be exact, or like at least flush with the line, so that I could just put it down. So that we can get a couple of these. And this is just like a scrap of very thin cardboard that I apparently used to cut a circle out of. I'm not going to tell you what for, because I was testing it out. So if it's successful, you'll see. You'll be like, oh, that's what she cut the circle out for. Okay. So we're going to glue these in. And I'm almost wondering what the best way to do this is. So I glue them to the bottom. Then I can use some paper to make sure that it's all stuck to the top, because I made this a little bit probably taller than I should have. I probably could have scored this at 1/8 as well, and then it would have just been fine, because they would be even. And I could rescore it and then just have an extra line here. Would that bother me? No. Would it bother you guys? It's either that, or I have to wrap each of these in a piece of paper, because there's going to be, like, I don't know, focus. Oh, that's the best we got. There's going to be a gap up here otherwise. I could always cover up the line if it really does take away from the overall effect. Yes. Yeah, I think that's going to be the easier way, is to just accept that we made a bit of an error and just score it down. This is also the reason I don't do a lot of tutorials. It's because I'm usually just figuring it out as we go. So again, if you're crafting along with me, you're going to cut 1 inch off the back end. You're going to score this at 5. You're going to score it 5 1/8. Sorry, we're going to have to come back. I could do the shaker on the cover. You're a smart cookie. Christelle, you are so smart. Hold on. Hold on. This has just evolved. Okay, hold on. Where's my acetate? You are so smart. So clever, so beautiful and amazing. So, let's get the acetate in this production. And then we'll see if we're cooking with Crisco or not. But I'm pretty sure Crystal's from France, so she's probably cooking with butter. But same concept. That's my little gremlin laugh. That was unnecessary. But I'm very excited. You just changed the game. Because you know what this means, right? If we have a shaker in the top, we could put a notebook in here. A little notepad. Okay, that has to dry. I don't know what to do while I wait for it to dry. I guess I know what to do. Hold on. I have all of these scraps. You're brilliant. We're just going to cut these to act as the backing. And what I'm going to do is, after I cut them to 5, or before I cut them to 5 to save myself the trouble, I'm going to cut a little bit off the side, like 1/8 of an inch, just so I don't have to worry about matching it up exactly. So I'm going to set those aside so that I don't set my stuff into them. we're going to trim a little bit off the back here. So it is currently at 3.5. We're going to bring it down by 1/8 of an inch. Make sure it's all lined up. And then we're just going to chop it down to 10. And then again at 5. Absolutely brilliant. I'm so excited now. I was genuinely very sad. Okay. I lied about being done inking, but hopefully there's enough left on this to sort of cover our bases. It's not as dark as the front, but that's okay. It's inside. I don't really feel like picking up the stamp pad just to do this. But what are y'all working on? Are you guys working on anything in particular? Are you finishing up journals? Working on ephemera? Just hanging out? Sipping some coffee? By the way, which I reminded myself I have a cup of coffee. I'll try not to gulp into the microphone. Let's see. I said I have acetate. I do have acetate. So I'm going to cut it to about this size, just a little slightly bit smaller so that it sits inside. I'm not measuring. You're getting ready for work. Bill. In fact, I'm just going to offset it a little bit so that I don't have to pick it up. And if my brain is right, then that'll cover our whole window. Just chilling. Just a little bit more eyeball math here. I don't know. I work for an office now. I didn't before. I used to work for a grocery store, so we used to always have to work like holidays and weekends, and that is, it's boo-boo. It sucks. Mostly because, for whatever reason, this grocery store in particular, not all grocery stores, but this grocery store in particular was like underneath the impression that you could not have both of your days off back to back. Like, you could not have consecutive days off for some reason. And it was like one of those points of contention where we had to like fight and argue about it all the time, to the point where I was like, this is absurd. There's no reason. So when I became like a person in a managerial type role, I started writing my schedules like that. And then they were like, what do you mean this person has 2 days off? And I was like, what do you mean? What do I mean? Like, be for real. It has no impact on the business whatsoever. And I don't work there anymore, thankfully, because I hated that place with every fiber of my being. He still fits. I don't want to cut it down yet until I can figure out what it looks like in the window. But it's not dry yet. We'll help it. But yeah, like I still have a friend who works there, and then like when he tells me his schedule and stuff, I'm just like, no, just tell them you can have your days off together, because why? Like, it's so absurd to me. I'm just relaxing today. I appreciate that. Sunday's a good day for relaxing. I think it's a nice day to just chill and hang out. Usually I split up my weekends by like, I'll try to like do whatever plans I have in the morning on Saturday, like hang out with friends or something like that, run any errands, and then I will come home and then just start making videos until I'm like, oh, it's so late and you're so hungry. That's like my cue to get off there. And then Sunday morning, I'm like, all right, polish up any videos, make your last video, make sure you have like your story craft and everything set so that you don't have to worry about it throughout the week. And then after that, like around 3 or 4, I'm like, all right, time to die, which is relax, not actually die. Um, and then I get up and do some meal prep, and then I have like cheese and crackers for dinner because girl dinner. And then I just get ready for Monday. That's how I do every weekend. And in between there, of course, is like hanging out with my cats and petting them and all sorts of stuff. But that's my weekends. Dyeing doilies with turmeric tea, coffee, and maybe Rit dye. Okay, all right, that's fun. I did some like paper dyeing a little bit, and my fingers are still inky, gross. But that's what I get. I have to wait teenagers for school in a few minutes. Oh man, Monday. I bet that's gonna be fun. Teenagers love getting up to go to school. I know that I did. That's not true. That's a lie. Come on. All right. I need to tap it off. This one's good ish. We're gonna work with it. We're gonna work with what we got because we're live, and I can't wave that piece of paper forever. Yeah, Mondays are not my favorite. If they could just be less Monday and more fun day, that would be great. Okay. So I came down a little bit to avoid the fold, which means that my little piece is actually a little bit too long. So we're going to trim that off. And it's okay if it looks crazy. It's inside. I'm just going to give that a real nice press. And while the other guy catches up, we're just going to glue these in. Yeah. Always messy. I will say, Amethyst Raven, if you guys know her, she's cool. She's amazing. She has a channel. Check her out. Has been very vigilant about reminding me to do a cryptid challenge. So I think that's what we're going to do in March, is a little mini cryptid challenge. One so that I remember. You know, it's a very interesting recipe for wrought dye. I usually include some moss in mine. Okay. You guys are wild. I love it. It's fantastic. Trust the process. That autocorrect really coming for you. No piece left behind. Hopefully, this gap up here is enough. It might not. Hold on. Ugh, everything's gonna be sticky. It's okay. I could just wipe it off. Why would I do that? All right, I need you to get it together. And tonight is the night when two become one. I miss the Spice Girls. You guys miss the Spice Girls? You ever just miss music, like, just for, like, the time that it came out in? Like, what a time that was. I was in the 5th grade. Clearly living my best life. Oh man, used to be like way into the Spice Girls as a kid. That was probably formative. Probably a little bit. All right, well that little piece got a little funky, but it's okay. It'll work out. And straight into rotten tree wood or plant matter, but you do it. There are two types of people. Right here. You guys ever heard of girl moss? It's like my favorite saying now because I am a notorious bed rotter who I just like to come home and rot in bed for a while. But now it's like girl moss is like becoming one with the forest and just sort of laying down until you're moss instead of like rotting. So now I say girl moss because I'm not a girl boss, but I am girl moss for sure. Oh, it won't stick yet. Oh, okay. It's not even, but all the sides are covered, and that's what matters. Let me cut off a little extra bit. It's not easy being green. Green Gwen. They're so funny. What I was saying last week on the live, I don't know why I don't do these more often. I honestly really enjoyed them. And when I first started out, I was going live like a lot, and was, especially over on Instagram. I was all over on Instagram. But now that the algorithm on Instagram has changed, I don't feel compelled to interact with it. Because it's not algorithming. Also, like, it's reel driven, and I hate making reels. I'm just not good at this kind of stuff. So I don't do it. But I used to go live all the time and just hang out, and I really miss it. But I don't know what happened. Like, pandemic changed my opinions on hanging out with everybody, maybe. It's probably just stress and all sorts of stuff that contributed to it. I don't really think there's like one cause for it, but after last week, I was like, man, I really like this. I should do this more often. And you guys told me I should too. So here we are. So I appreciate the encouragement. This is the Cosmic Shimmer. You can't tell because I've rubbed off the thing, but it's an acrylic glue. And it is fantastic. It does adhere stuff to plastic, which is why I like it. Because I don't have to reach for like a bunch of different glues. It's a little pricier than I normally spend for glue, but like, that's okay. It's not like the most expensive glue I have, so it's not a big deal. But if you haven't tried it yet, I would definitely recommend it. Then we need to measure how big, and then cut this in half before we put glue on it, because my fingers are gluey and I hate that. I hate it so much. Nope, stay together. Hey, Tony. And everybody else who just maybe joined, possibly, perhaps. Currently making matchbook shaker. By the time I get done with this, we'll see where we land for my little vampire book. Oh no. It also dries clear too, so like any glue seepage is not a super big deal. Oh, my ear itches. Oh, my whole face. As it warms up, I expect my allergies to go crazy, so I'm trying not to like lose my mind right now, but it is life that we are living currently. So, get our picture ready. Look at this handsome guy. He's a vampire. You can tell by his ears. I love that glue, and it works great on so many stuff. I'm glad that you shared it once back. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Actually, I can't take credit for discovering this glue. Belle was the one who discovered it, and I watched her video and discovered it that way. But I'm definitely happy to share it because this is great glue. And just a tip, if you are crafting along with me at some point in this process, to figure out the size of my image, I am cutting it to fit the window, but I'm also cutting it at an angle so that I'm coming underneath the paper so that it'll sit inside the little frame we made. Also, I just trimmed up some of the cardboard. It's not a big deal. It's the outside. It wasn't intentional, but it's not a big deal. So... I'm glad I'm doing lives here too, Gwen. Thank you. It is definitely fun. This super glue wants to be part of the show. It's not actually super glue, it's nail glue. I still can't find my super glue, which is upsetting. I have some in my cart. I'm going to order some more because I have come across a couple of projects where I actually need it, and I think I just have not used super glue in so long. It's possible that I came to it at a different point in time and then was like, it's all dried up and I tossed it out and just didn't replace it, but when you need super glue and you don't have super glue, it is kind of annoying. Oh, the little, like, there's little glue boogers on this, but it's all sticky, so it won't come off. Here we go. Okay. No, it's because they're on my fingers. Can't cut straight without a ruler. It's a superpower. It's not. You've seen me cut with a ruler. That's how I know that this is not a superpower. It's just like an ADHD failing because I can't cut straight with the ruler, which is absurd. You should be able to cut straight with a ruler. And also, it only looks straight. It's a little bit wonky, so don't let me fool you. Come on, glue boogers, work with me. Okay, I want the blood drip, but we don't need all of this. Oh yeah, what are you working on, Tony? Are you still working on your vampire journal? I saw you posted your video with your composition book. How did I not meet? What the heck? See, this is what I'm saying. It's not a straight line because I would have hit it at some point. Okay, so those are ready. So let's get the razzle dazzle in here. Yeah. So I have this really fun stuff. Ugh. It came in a set. I didn't buy 3 of them individually, but it was like $6. And it's for nail art. That's where I usually find like my glittery, embellishy type stuff like this. I look for nail art stuff because I don't know if you guys can see. There's spiders and crosses and bats and skulls. So this is like black holographic. And then there's the silver holographic, which you can probably see better. There's a witch hat in there. There's a little ghosty. There's a foot. This one's a foot. I don't know why. It's random. It's a little foot with a heart in it, but you know, it's a thing. There's little shits. Sorry, there's little poos. Also very random. But then we have little skull and crossbones. And some more skulls and some masks. More bats. And then this one, this is the reason I got this set to begin with. There's the mask and then the bats and the witch hats. And I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a cat. Skull and crossbones, and then more spiders. But I got it for these little clay guys, because look, there's little crosses, there's little eyeballs. So some more skull and crossbones. I think this is a skull, like, but like a black one. You know, like, I think it's like a little spooky skull inverse, and then this funky, like, Felix the Cat type, and some little black flowers. That's why I got it, because I was like, the coffin is really cute. Yeah, nail art is fantastic for that. They get little rhinestones, little, like, there's little tiny flat back pearls and beads and all sorts of things in nail art that, you wouldn't think about, but it's a really great place to find little tiny things, especially for shaker pockets and stuff. So, I do think, this was really hard to open. Just gonna see if we can sprinkle in some of these crosses. Be part or be without. You cannot be your own individual. Oh, how did I find more? Funky. And then, of course, we need some bats. Yes, they're going to be matchbook shakers. Theoretically, when we get there. We're workshopping this together. These little boxes are so hard to open. I also love everything Halloween. Yes, you're part of the group. Don't worry. These are fun. They're not holographic, these little black bats. So that's cool. We'll get some different textures. Different colors. I know words. Bats. I don't want to go too crazy with stuff because I want them to move around. But I also want there to be cool stuff in there. So let's see. It's easier to see it from the bottom. No little poos, that's for sure. I don't think we need little cats or ghosts. That's Halloween stuff. There's also little ship wheels for reasons. And I would use these big bats, but they have the little holes on both sides, like they're meant to be, like, strung up. Not that I think that's an issue. Honestly, that's probably part of the reason I'm finding it so hard to open them, is because I don't want to fling them everywhere. Are these bats bigger? These bats are a little bit bigger. Ooh, but the masquerade mask is cool too. Maybe do I have it in, I do have it in holographic. I'll turn the little masquerade mask. I'll put a couple in here for the mystery. Get off my fingers. I don't want to use a bunch of the hollow stuff, because I'm not making a holographic Halloween, which would be fun. And we'll add in a couple of the coffins. And these are just made with, like, clay. They're really, really thin slices of a clay log. So they're a little thick, so we're not going to put that many in here. But for the funs. And what do you think? Maybe some of the flowers? And this bat. This is getting very close to craft room herpes. Which is glitter, for those of you guys who don't know. There's a chunk of the log that didn't make it into a slice. Just a nice little hefty chunk. It's usually a pheno clay that they make these with, though, which is really fun. Oh, taking this out is not fun. Oh, well, now this one has 3. There we go. And I could add regular glitter to it, but do I need to? I don't think so. No, because I don't know where my little bag of, like, glitter is. And all I can see is glass glitter, which will scratch up the acetate. And I don't want that. Or have that really super, super fine, like, holographic shiny glitter. But that's, like, the kind that you mix into, like, resin and stuff. But it's like, oh, that one is craft room herpes. So we're not doing that. Maybe a bigger bat. Like this bat. Yeah. Ugh. bigger bats. I think that's pretty good. Well, somebody's vacuuming their car. So again, sorry for the background noise. Oh, I just flung these on me. See, I knew it was gonna happen. That one opened up a little too easy. I found another mask. But I have the window open because it's so nice out. And because it's nice out, that means everybody else is out. So we added a couple skull and crossbones. And I think that's good. That's good. Less is more. And more is more. But less is also more. Unless you're in math, then apparently those rules don't apply. And then we'll just pop some glue down on our little gusset here. I could probably put more glue down and act like I'm trying to keep the glitter inside. But we'll just give it a good spread. Oops. And then, which one is this? We just gotta make sure it's inside. And if you cut it at an angle, it should sit very nicely inside. Oh, is it raining? We had some rain yesterday, but that was basically the last of it. And then it moved on out and brought the heat back, so we're gonna be hot again, which I'm very sad about. It's not gonna be hot, it's gonna be like in the 70s. But I have polar bear blood, so for me that's going to be hot. Won't be super hot. It'll be nice, but I'm being dramatic. All right. We're cooking. Ooh, this one's a little shy, but it still fits all the borders, so we're good. That's what happens when you eyeball everything. And then to make the gluing just a little bit easier, I'm actually just going to come up against our little wall right here and trim off a little bit of this extra. Because I'm going to glue a piece of scrapbook paper down over the top. And removing obstacles is the best way to go. And it means I don't have to like glue this piece down to that and then the other piece on top of that. I can just glue it straight down. If I had measured, I probably wouldn't have to do that. Oh, sorry, Athena. I am making I'm making a matchbook shaker. It's going to be vampire themed to go into my vampire journals because I've been making vampire stuff lately. 82. That's hot. 82. Gwen, I forgot. Where are you? In the world, not just like existentially. And then you were there with me when I cut the backing papers. Where did I put them? Oh, I found one. I see that it's inked. How do I have one and not two? The crafting fairies. Ah, I found it. Okay, and then we're going to cover this up. Sort of. We're going to cut off this extra bit. Maybe I'm just going to attack this from all angles. Anaheim. Okay. Yeah, that is definitely too hot for February for anybody. But you being in California makes it a little bit more logical. Although that means that April is loving this weather because she's like made for the heat, and I can't relate. Because it sounds like my nightmare. I'm gonna glue this down like this. And I'm just gonna ink it up. Yeah. I'll cover up any of the idiosyncrasies with a little bit of ink. When in doubt, ink it out. Oh, okay. You don't do a lot of paper crafts, but you'd like to start journaling. This is just decoration for your journal. Yeah, it's just going into the journal as a piece of like fun ephemera, as decoration. How did you find me? I'm really genuinely curious to know. Are you just like getting into junk journaling, and that's how you landed here? Oh, and I guess since I've mentioned her like 1,250 times, if you guys aren't following April on Instagram, on her thrift page, it's Odd Flock Finds. And on Sundays, she does a book thrifting thing. And so she goes thrift store, like thrifting for books and stuff. So she does a book sale for you junk journaling people who like to use up books and stuff. So she finds some cool stuff there, and she's gonna be really mad that I did my live at the same time she did. Although to be fair, I did it like an hour after her started. But she is gonna be mad because she missed the last one, and she was mad about that too because I didn't tell her. I just did it. Oh, Thunder has descended. Okay, I was wondering if you were one of the BD people who came over. Thanks for coming over. Last week I did a BD live. I'm trying to alternate and do both because I started out as a junk journal channel, and I'm still junk journaling. So I want to make sure that I keep doing both things so that the people who came here for journals aren't disappointed. And then the people who came here for beading aren't disappointed. So there's a little something for everybody. But that's exciting. I'm glad that some beady people found their way over here. And hopefully, my channel can help you get into junk journaling. I don't know if it's the type that you're looking to do, but I have lots of videos and tutorials and stuff. And fun challenges to like dip your toe in. Bye, Gwen. Have a good rest of your day. Enjoy your Sunday. The video will go up afterwards, so you'll be able to see what we concluded with. Make sure I don't miss this, and then this is just gonna smoosh down in here. Use your tools, Priscilla. Oh, thank you. Do you have a channel, Athena? Because I'll go follow you for sure. Always looking for new friends. There you go. What gussets? You can barely tell. Although I did come over the edge a little bit. A little tiny bit. But yeah, I like to do a lot of crafts, so like I've been trying to think of ways to incorporate that. Haha. Oh, this is fun. Okay. I'm also part gremlin. Have a good day, Gwen. All right. So, I guess we'll see where we're at once we get these backs down. We are at an hour, and I do want to keep this about an hour. It might end up being an hour and a half because I don't want to leave something completely unfinished. I love shakers too. This is really fun. And I think it still works with like the spooky vampire atmosphere without like taking away from it, you know, like it's still fun. It's still a fun element without lessening the effect because we didn't go crazy with our glitter options. Ugh. All right, let's see. Everybody's stuck together. Everybody's happy. We didn't even cover the edge on this one. And now we have like our moody Dorian Gray type guy here. So the only thing is, I would normally staple this, which I probably still could. It just would have to be over the, this would have to be over the top. Or I could cut it down. I don't want to cut it down though, because it's going to come right up against the gusset if I cut it down. They do. I have a story, Bex. I'm not going to share the story yet. I'm sharing it over on my Patreon, so I don't want to spoil the experience because I haven't shared it with them yet. I haven't posted the video yet. But I have a story idea in mind, and so these guys are going to, one's going to go to one journal, one's going to go to the other, and there's a whole story behind them. But I can leave this up here like this, so it does its own thing, and then you can flip it open, and we'll stick some paper in here. And then we'll staple the paper in like a matchbook, right? That's a concept. That's an idea. Do I have little scrap bits of paper I could staple in? No, of course not. Why would I have that sitting right here conveniently within arm's reach? I have a book page. That doesn't help. I do have a bunch of this colorful grungy paper, which isn't actually fitting of the theme, but would get this off my table. So, YOLO. I also have some little strips of craft paper that got left over from another project. So yeah, I think that'll work. Let me grab my stapler. Yes, it comes with a story. So I feel like that's important. Haha, the tiny attacher was there. You know what happened was I put it where it went. I put it where it belongs. And that's why I wasn't sure where it was. It's not like I wrote a story or anything, but they're like, you know, like when I do concept journals and stuff, I like for there to be a story to them. Chicken run. Okay, that's your channel. I'm going to write that down. Where? I'm going to write it on the back of this. And then I'm going to follow you when I get off this live. Excited. Where's my chopper? Oh, I just did a whole 360 spin in my chair. Alright, tiny chopper is out. Obligatory spider taps. I don't need my glue anymore, so I don't have to let it dry. I broke the little thing off my glue. That's the only downside with this bottle is that I fight with that little stopper, but then I broke it off, and now I'm sad because the chances of losing that have just increased exponentially. And then, how big did I say these were again? I forgot. It's 3.5 inches, so we're probably going to cut it to about 3 1/4, just to keep it from accidentally sticking out the sides. And then I have 5 inches to work with. I want to cut to 4, like 4 3/4. 4 7/8. 4 7/8 is good because that still gives us some breathing room. What did I just say? I have already forgotten. These are crooked. Whoop. Oh, that's where these are from. Okay. I was trying to remember where I got this extra. I made a little journal. That's where they're from. Oh, yeah, Athena, you definitely should. I will support you. I love making new friends and I love supporting them. So I hope that you do more and then we can catch them and share all the crafty fun and goodness. I said that this was 3.5. We're going to cut it at 3.25. Those are the words I said. Yes, we're going to make more tiny little scraps while doing this. It's fine. Because it'll be like a little, that's 3/4. Because it'll be a little like tearaway notepad. I'm glad you're having a good time. I find this to be fun. Oh, but I like this side better, so I want this to be a whole sheet. 3.25. All right, Athena. Sad to see you go, but I will definitely see you again. So thank you for hanging out. And then, like I was telling Gwen, this will go on a replay once it loads to YouTube. So if you want to see the end and see what the results were, it'll be up there later for you to watch. It just depends on however long it takes YouTube to process it. The last one took like all night. It took like almost 10 hours because people were messaging me in the morning being like, I didn't know you were live. And I was like, wait, what are you talking about? And it literally just showed like you were live like 5 minutes ago. And I was like, hold on. Hours ago. I was live hours ago. I did not measure how long these were. So, round 2. But have a good day at work. And I said 7/8. It's honestly a negligible amount, but just in case. And this is good. It'll get some stuff off my table. Oh yeah, me too. I actually watch more YouTube than I watch TV, so I am also always on YouTube. Just the one little sad guy. I'm glad to hear it. Have you guys heard Lady Gaga's new song? I'm a little bit obsessed. I'm not gonna lie. It's been playing rent-free in my head, and I've been fighting like a little karaoke demon in my brain to not start singing it in the small downtime moments that I have with you guys where I'm not talking, because it's playing on endless loop in my brain. I absolutely love her, which like doesn't make any sense if you look at like the rest of the music I listen to, but I absolutely love Lady Gaga, so I'm very excited she has a new song out. That's just a little bit of fun facts about me. Oh, geez. Like I had a feeling it was a little too much, but it was a little too much. All right, and this is probably more paper than I need for these, but we'll see. Come on. Oh, it's time to empty this trash. Note to future self, empty out your trash. So, just start splitting it up. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Three, 4, there we go. To the last Cure album. Oh, that is a good album. It is a good album. And you're right, Dodie, it is super catchy. I think that's why it's like just playing nonstop in a loop on my brain right now. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to start tucking these little extra strips in there. They're just for the tearaway value. Look at that. Someone is shaky. Probably gonna have to eat soon. I ate breakfast though. I was responsible and had breakfast before I got here, but can't say it was the most substantive breakfast anyone has ever breakfasted. I don't know why I didn't just do that with the other one. Two can go in the same spot. Makes it easier. Okay. That is a genuinely good album. What time is it in Texas? It is 1:14. So it's lunchtime. Okay, that actually ends up being a very perfect fit, I think. It's still not super chunky. Still shakeable. Ooh, this is fun. So we're just going to make sure that everybody is down in there really well. I'm going to use 3 staples and just boom. And you know what? I was going to add like a little sentiment or something to this, but I feel like they kind of speak for themselves. I do have a handful of bats somewhere, which I could probably add to it too, but like, I feel like they speak for themselves. We'll let the shaker do the talking. And let's see. Get everybody in there. Nobody's sticking out where they're not supposed to be. Could probably go over just a smidge. There we go. And one in the middle and one on each side. And that'll just catch the little strip guys and make sure that they're not like launching themselves out. There we go. What do you guys think? We made little matchbook shakers. That is so fun! You guys can see my little desk light. How fun is that? And there's a little notepad in here, and then you can just tear these out and add them to the book and jot stuff down if you need like a little paper space. And then we used up some of those little offcuts as well. So that's a video. That's a thing. Thank you guys for hanging out. This was really fun, and I'm glad that we workshopped that out. Christelle, thank you for that last minute save. That was amazing. You saved my brain because I was going through it until you said something. And yeah, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will definitely come back and do some more lives. Like I said, I'm going to try to flip-flop between the two things. So, there is an idea I have for another live that I just learned how to do, from a BD channel, but it's like also book related. So I think it's a good crossover. So we'll do that. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here and have like a piece of toast or something and finish my coffee. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun. And I can't tell you guys enough how much I appreciate your faces. I'm going to jump off here. So bye-bye. Goodbye. Thank you, Bex. Thank you, Christelle. Thank you, Tony. Everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you, Jess. And Gwen and Athena. I know they already left, but like, thank you guys for hanging out. Goodbye. And then we get to play the game of how do we end this. Hold on. Yes. Bye.